Now, going on to the next steps in this, no matter what, to what degree we're able to push for both automation and digitalization, there is one component that always be required, the propulsion system. We are all aware that in many fields, the internal combustion engine will be around for quite some time. Especially in long haulage, a combustion engine will still, for many years to come, be the major alternative. But an engine doesn't necessarily need to be diesel-fueled. Like Andreas Renschel already pointed out, we want to and we will deliver the best solutions for cleaner transports and take the lead in developing alternative drivetrains for transportation. Thanks to our common group resources, we are able to stay at least one step ahead of the competition. Joint developments and commonly used technologies will give us maximum flexibility. Here's Joachim Drees again to tell you more about the latest part in this, the part of it.
Thank you, Anders. I think, yes. Well, in this part, as Anders was introducing, I would like to talk more about e-mobility. And Henrik was making this comment before that we are closely growing friends. We do it every day a bit more. And so therefore, I will be also talking about Scania in this section about e-mobility. Coming back to, I think e-mobility is a very important part of future transportation. I meant taking a major step forward to establish actually e-mobility in urban distribution transport. We believe this is one of the main applications. Our goal as a company is we want to make an active contribution towards reducing emissions in urban areas. So what did we do? We took one of our MAN TGM and we turned it into a fully electric version of it. It's 26 tons, equipped with 12 batteries, and with a range of around 200 kilometers. This range gives most of our customers, actually for their daily delivery business, the right range. And most importantly, it's working at all temperatures, which I think today is one of the big challenges you see.
E-mobility is quite simply the topic of the future in transport. We work in distribution traffic. In distribution traffic, this means that we do not travel more than 200 kilometers during a tour. 200 kilometers per tour is predestined for e-mobility.
E-mobility hätte für unser Unternehmen den Vorteil, kurzfristig, dass wir
E-mobility would have the advantage for our company in the short term, due to our industry focus in retail and fashion, that we could significantly expand the service times of our trucks in urban areas. In the long run, due to the concentration on the cities, the e-commerce boom, online trade, and above all, home delivery, the use of e-mobility is absolutely necessary for environmental policy reasons.
Thank you. So CO2-free urban logistics represents an essential step forward in changing urban air pollution. MAN cooperates here, and you saw some of the people there on the movie, with the Austrian Council for Sustainable Logistics called CNL. By the end of the year, 9 test vehicles will be handed over to CNL. Members you can see here, such as Gebrüder Weishofer, Magna Steyr, Metro, Quellenberger Rewe, Schachinger Spahn, Stiegel. So all big logistical companies who have city distribution, and we will deliver these trucks for field testing in urban areas. Our e-technology is on its way to market maturity and has been eagerly awaited for. When we first announced this project, we had more than 250 customer groups contacting us whether they could actually also buy one or more of these electric vehicles. So of course, customer demand is a major factor for establishing our e-technology in the future. It is a large potential. And so with the first e-trucks, which we will now be delivering and we will manufacture at MAN's Steyr site in Austria, we can actually see and start how it plays out and how actually e-mobility distribution works in the daily business. If it is perceived by the customer as something positive, we will be actually starting with a small series production by the end of 2018. And of course, you're invited to take a closer look at our TGM outside, which we have parked just at the entrance area. So far, we have mostly talked about city distribution and so electrification on trucks. Now let's focus for a moment on public transportation. If you think of Germany, public transportation, more than 36,000 city buses are actually transporting more than 4.5 billion passengers per year. So the obvious one is the question, how can you actually provide clean alternatives for these kind of transports? We have listened to our customers, we talk to our customers, we are of course in constant contact with our customers. We have been building up a consulting group which actually consults our customers. And so we discussed with them, what is the e-mobility going to look like in the cities for the future when it comes to city buses? And we believe that actually MAN is very well positioned in this field. VW and brands are in a leading position for alternative fueled internal combustion engines, biodiesel, gas, hybrid solutions. MAN and Scania developed a variety of buses with alternative drives. As you have heard earlier from Andreas Menschler, MAN is European market leader for gas buses and offers hybrid buses as early as 2010. The most ambitious goal, though, is to get local emissions down to zero. This can only actually be achieved with e-powered vehicles. And so far, as you all know, the battery is the bottleneck, and the customer expectations in terms of range and durability are very high. If you talk to customers, this is actually the biggest question around the USP. How long will the battery last? And customers typically name for the city application 200 to 250 kilometers at all temperatures and weathers. So that's why we focus on developing the best possible solution together with our customers. And there will be more details available in one of our workshops, which will be held in the afternoon. Coming to Scania, Scania is also working very hard and very intensively on their BEV bus. BEV stands for battery electric vehicle. Very impressive. Scania is starting an extensive field test later this year in Östersund in the winter. Again, this is the most challenging application for e-mobility, and that's why it's so important to do this test in the winter so that Scania can actually get the results and use it for further development. It's under extreme conditions. So the collected information of tomorrow and we will find out how battery life can be improved. So I think it's a great new field for e-buses when Scania conducts this test in Östersund. MAN, on the other side, will offer e-buses with the next MAN bus generation, which will be shown as a general bus generation next year. And the serial production will start by the end of 2019. For next year, we will deliver the first buses to 3 cities, which we are cooperating in order to have test fields or field tests to make the buses sustainable and actually make them reliable so that our customers can then use the 2019 buses by the end of 2019, which we will deliver in the daily application. One transport authority is just around the corner. So we are very close discussions, and Hamburg will be one of the first ones to test our buses, the Hamburger Verkehrsbund or HVV. Together with them, we will learn more about the daily use and charging technologies. Back to you, Anders.
Thank you, Joachim.
Thank you.
Now, especially in inner city areas, distribution and delivery often requires smaller vehicles. This is, of course, a playing field for Volkswagen commercial vehicles. The e-Craft is just one example of electrified last mile. You can have a look at it outside later on in the exhibition. In addition to that, Volkswagen just recently launched a revolutionary light cargo transporter. To tell us more about this exciting vehicle, I'd like to welcome Mr. Eckhard Scholz, CEO of Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles. Welcome.
Thank you, Anders. Dear ladies and gentlemen, one large group of light commercial vehicles is serving customers on long distances, like transport express services, and in difficult environments, like construction sites. They must be strong, they must be fast, or both. They must have low total cost of ownership, of course. They must be reliable. They must be easy to gas up everywhere. And to say it very clear, for this group of light commercial vehicles, the diesel engine is the best solution, also in the future. Another group of light commercial vehicles is the owner of the last mile in urban traffic. This group has a completely different environment. Especially in urban areas, light commercial vehicles are covering short distances, returning routes, and many stops. They are the backbone for the supply of private, public, and business life, transport of people, all kinds of craft, and delivery services, and removal of waste. Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles surveyed and talked to thousands of customers across Europe. We know exactly what different demands every core target group has. We know what cars they need, what size, and what engine. And therefore we know for the last mile in urban logistics, emission-free engines are the optimal solution for all transport purposes. I'm convinced light commercial vehicles will be front runners in the electrification of urban traffic. They offer promising environmental performance and total cost of ownership. At Volkswagen Commercial Vehicle, we are working on light commercial vehicles for urban logistics that provide a range of features. Purely electric operated with zero local emissions. Semi or fully autonomously driven. Increasingly connected via commercial and, of course, social networks, mobile, online, and customer services. And last but not least, shared. We start delivering the first e-Crafter to our customers before the end of this year. They are powered with 100 kilowatts, have a 43 kilowatt-hours battery and a range of 160 kilometers. Their loading capacity is 1 ton. All other features do not differ from the normal series vans. For tomorrow, we are working on the ID. Bus Cargo, which is purely electric operated. Like Anders Nielsen said, everybody is crazy about this new kid on the block. We will give you more information when the time has come. Thank you for your attention.
So, thank you very much, Eckhard. So, low or even zero emissions on short distances is one thing. But can we provide clean solutions even when a long-haul truck has to carry tons of load for several hundred kilometers? What options do we see here? Joachim Dres, you will give us insights on this as well.
Thanks, Anders. Yeah, we've heard a lot about e-technology, and e-trucks are, of course, in the distribution sector, a great alternative in the range of the light to medium duty trucks. For long-haul transportation, we see other promising perspectives on alternative drives. Since customer focuses on their profitability of their business, operational costs do matter for them. For this reason, I think we're discussing this more often today here. We've heard it before. Internal combustion engines will be needed for a long time, for sure in long-haul traffic, in long-haul haulage. There is no more efficient alternative out there by now. There can be diesel-powered, as we said earlier, as we heard earlier from Andreas Rentschler, diesel-powered vehicles are clean with Euro 6, but they can also use alternative fuels. And we at VW Truck and Bus, at Volkswagen Truck and Bus, we have a wide array of alternative solutions for every use, and, which I feel is even more important, for every individual situation or demand of our customers. Our common diesel engine platform will be the cornerstone for this. Again, it is highly efficient, it is powerful, and it is clean. And the best is, whatever alternative fuel the customer prefers, be it due to the infrastructure for liquid fuels in a given area or in a given route, there's a quick and simple way to adjust the powertrain from our side for our customers accordingly. Scania is very well experienced with LNG-powered combustion engines, as you can see here in the picture. And the customers, they really like them. At least those, of course, who run their businesses in Sweden or in the Netherlands, two countries that provide a very decent infrastructure of LNG filling stations. So, we discussed this before, creating infrastructure is one of the next steps in order to make LNG everywhere available in Europe. But another example is also hybrid vehicles. All vehicles powered by bio or so-called e-fuels, synthetic fuels produced with green energy. We at MAN have been actually developing this technology and are running a pilot plant in Velde together with Audi. That is clean with combustion engine from our point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, Joachim. So we are stressing, and I can't stress enough, that internal combustion engines will be a very important part of our future as we go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking about e-powered transportation, both in terms of cargo as well as public transportation. Developing e-powered vehicles is one thing. Another thing is to provide some kind of electrical infrastructure. One solution is e-roads. Just like a train, the vehicle connects to an overhead electrical line, delivering the power to operate and even to charge the battery. A test track with electric road infrastructure already exists in Sweden. In other regions, they're in the making. In Germany, for instance, we will see a test track between Frankfurt and Darmstadt, and there are approvals for more test tracks in Schleswig-Holstein and Baden-Württemberg. Electric roads are an exciting option, and Volkswagen Truck and Bus will definitely have our share of that part of the business. Please check the Scania Electrical Road exhibition vehicle outside and find out for yourself what we have achieved so far. Now, electrical vehicles for urban transportation becomes more and more important. To meet that demand, we are working with short-term brand individual solutions. Mid-term, we are creating group modular kits for e-trains. Just like a common group powertrain. Now, Volkswagen Truck and Bus alliance partner, Navistar in the US, will be among the first to install the new group common e-drivetrain. In the near future, all the European brands will follow and equip their e-buses and e-trucks with this drivetrain. And now for some exciting news we can't wait to tell you about. Volkswagen Truck and Bus World Premiere. To tell you more about that, I'd like to welcome Roberto Cortés to the stage as well.